Hello again, Daisies. This is Mrs. Hunter again, and this is part two. Where I left off at the other video, the first video, was we were looking at the remainder part. And so we saw that 12 divided by 6 gave us two groups, and then we had a remainder of 3 over 6. And the reason why this is a remainder, again, is because we cannot evenly divide 3 into 6 whole groups. We could make this a fraction, and in fact it is a fraction, but that is not where we are right now, so we're going to keep this at 3/6. However, there are some of you who can look at this and say, well, Mrs. Hunter, isn't that equivalent to 1/2? And the answer is absolutely, it is. And so you could either have 3/6 or 1/2. But your final answer, you must add up all of the groups that you divided evenly by 6. And so that is 200 plus 60 plus 2 plus the 3/6 or the 1/2, which will give you 262, remainder 3/6, or 262 with the remainder 1/2. Either one of those answers would be acceptable. And so when you look at your homework for frog population at Tino's pond, the average population of frogs in that pond are 262 frogs, or 262 and 3/6 of a frog, or 1/2 of a frog. Okay, but we're not over. We're not done. I want to challenge you, ladies. Now that you've seen both of these methods, or both of these techniques, using small multiples of 10 versus using larger multiples of 10, I want you to decide which one works best for you. Definitely look back over this video, rewind it, pause it, look at the screen, break it apart in your mind as well as on your paper to try to figure out which one you like best. Everyone is not going to like the same one. You use what's best for you. I am most concerned about you taking your time, you doing your best, and of course being accurate while you're doing your best. Okay. But I would be remiss if I did not go back to this particular problem where we're talking about the lazy animals. We started with 148 hours of sleeping time, and we had 10 different animals to find the mean. And we went through this method of subtracting 10 over and over and over again, and we eventually came up to 14 hours and 8/10. I want to see, can you figure out how to do this using larger multiples? So what I'm suggesting is, go back to this problem, and let's think about, instead of just using 10 times 1 is equal to 10, I want you to think of 10 times 1 is equal to 10. Then I want you to also think of 10 times, 10 is equal to 100. How about 10 times 20 is equal to 200? I'm sorry, is equal to, 200. Well, that one's too big. So let's go back and look at some other multiples of 10. How about 10 times 2, which is equal to 20. 10 times 3, which is equal to 30. 10 times 4, which is equal to 40. I think these are going to help us with this particular problem. Let's break it apart, but this time, instead of just using smaller groups of 10, I want us to use a large group to break this apart in the biggest way that we possibly can without going over. And with our list of multiples of 10, right now, I'm thinking we should use this one. 10 times 10 is equal to 100. So if I take 100 pieces and divide them by 10, I'm going to be eliminating a large group right off the bat. And then what will I have remaining? 100 plus 48 divided by 10 will equal 148 divided by 10. Does everybody see how these are equivalent expressions? 148 divided by 10 is the same as saying 100 divided by 10 plus 48 divided by 10. Hopefully you see that. And then we know that because 10 times 10 is equal to 100, 100 divided by 10 is equal to what? 10 groups. These are inverse operations of each other, ladies. We know that division is the same thing as multiplication, just the opposite. So, if you know one, then you know the other. Let's look at this one, 48 divided by 10. That one may be still a little challenging for some of us. So, we're going to break it apart. How can we break this apart? Looking at our numbers in our list here of multiples, how about this one? If I take 40 out of 48, then I'd have 40 divided by 10 plus 8 divided by 10. Everyone should see that 48 divided by 10 is the same thing as 40 divided by 10 plus 8 divided by 10. And now we know that we can divide this because we know the multiplication sentence as well. If 10 times 4 is equal to 40, then that means 40 divided by 10 is equal to 4 groups. So now we have 4 groups here, and now we have a remainder of 8/10. Why is this a remainder? Well, because we cannot divide 8 evenly into whole groups of 10. So this is going to be our remainder. If we add these up, girls, we have 10 plus 4 plus, 8/10. And so now that equals 14 with a remainder of 8/10. Does that look familiar? Keep on doing tenths. I'm not sure why I'm doing that. But does this look familiar, girls? It really should, because this is the same answer that you made earlier down here. But it just took a lot fewer steps. So here we did this 14 times, and in this large chunking method of multiples, we did it in 3 times. Now, I'm not saying that you have to do it this way, but it's just to show you the difference between the steps. In this way, you're using larger chunks, so you get to the answer a little faster, whereas this one is repeating the same exact number, but it's taking you a few more steps. Okay? So, girls, again, look at either one of these methods. Figure out which one works best for you. Make sure you check over your homework. You have 2 answers already done. We know that the mean average of frogs in Tino's pond is 262 and 3/6 of a frog. And we know that the laziest, the number or the mean average number of snoozing hours for these animals is about 14 and 8/10 of an hour. So with that said, ladies, that's it for now. Hope everybody's having a great evening, and I love to see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye.